All right, The Ring 2. Let's discuss this. This is my 5th review in a row. So I'm going to have to take a break after this. I still have a ton of stuff, but fuck. All right, let's go. All right, The Ring 2. We got Emily Van Camp here in the opening, which, from Revenge and whatnot, beautiful girl. She's even in the MCU. But, so, am I supposed to believe that this chick is just some nerdy loser girl that this super hot guy, who's honestly, I feel like she's out of his league. Like, am I supposed to believe that that guy is like trying to get this girl? He even tells his friend, like, oh, there's some stupid girl from school I'm just passing it on to. Because it kind of has like an It Follows feel to it in the opening. Nowhere near as good, obviously. Not even close. And It Follows is fantastic. This movie is not very good. Which I was actually kind of bummed about. Because I know so many people dislike this sequel. And, the cast returns and everything. And I was like wanting to come in to defend it. But I just found myself to be so disengaged with the story. Like, I just think that they took a wrong turn with the story. Like, I think that's one of its biggest sins. The second biggest sin is not bringing back Gore, although I'm sure he was working on the Pirates of the Caribbean movie at this point, or had just finished it and was like, I'm not directing that piece of shit. I read the script, I'm not interested, which he made a good decision. Because if I was writing this, I would have definitely explored much more of the tape being copied and kind of the mental strain that puts on her and her child. And then maybe like people finding out that she was the one that passed this on and them coming after her, like for revenge because they were pissed off that she passed it on to them. And then as the tapes kind of keep circulating, she finds out that once everyone has died, much like It Follows, once everyone's died, the copy of the copy of the copy, so on and so forth. Once every one of those people dies, it like finally makes its way back to her and tries to come after her. But they went more with the like Samara possession of her son role, and that just was a misstep. For me, it just was a misstep because I just didn't find myself interested all that much. And the direction is pretty shitty in this, to be honest. The way that the scares come, the use of CGI and whatnot, it just is very ineffective. And I completely understand why this film is kind of panned as bad as it is. I don't think it's as bad as people say it is, for sure, because people go, oh, it's a piece of shit, it's horrible. I get why they say that. I do. I guess I always try to look at these movies objectively. I always try to look at them going, is it really that bad? Or is it that bad because of the expectations that were connected to a film like this because of its predecessor? You know what I mean? Like, because the film before this was so beloved that a sequel has such a tall order already on top of it, that if it's mediocre, it's going to be looked at as awful, or if it's not what people expected. And then you get into the situations, of course, like The Last Jedi, or fucking even like Blair Witch 2, Book of Shadows, which I think is great, and almost everybody hates because that's not the film they were expecting at all. So it really depends, but usually it's mediocrity. Is that how you would say that? Mediocrity. I think I'm saying like idiocracy, but like mediocrity. I think that's the right phrasing of that. Anyways, but it's being mediocre that I think is like one of the biggest sins that a sequel can make, especially if it's coming off of. And usually they don't make sequels that often to movies that aren't pretty damn well received. Sometimes they do, but a lot of the times they make a sequel because people enjoyed it and they're looking forward to a sequel. And man, this film really just doesn't deliver. It really just doesn't. In the story, even in some of the acting, I think Naomi Watts is good in this, but not as good as the first. You can tell it was like she returned for the sequel. You know what I mean? She's not like passionate about it. I think she realizes the script isn't very good. The direction isn't very good. She still gives it, I mean, she's still a professional and she still gives a fine performance. It's just, it's not as good as the first one for sure. Her performance, as I say. Like the movie's obviously nowhere near as good as the first one. But what do you guys think? What do you think would be a better script for this? Like, put the direction aside. I still don't think that this director would have done a very good job with any script. But at least I could have sat here and been like, oh, well, the story was good. I just don't feel like it was executed very well. I feel like both sides of the coin are amiss here with the direction and the writing, which is funny to me because this was written by the dude who wrote the first one. That said, the first one was based off of and almost followed to a T the original, and the second one I don't think follows the story of the second, although I've never seen the like Ringu 2 or whatever, so I can't say for sure. So I don't know. Maybe it is, but it's a misstep for me. All right, let's get into the story itself. Now, if you're trying to get a girl to watch a video, maybe give yourself a little bit more time before you try to put it on for her. Maybe like don't tell her it's a scary movie, because I don't know how many interactions you've had with people talking about scary movies, horror movies, whatever. But almost everyone you talk to's instant reaction is, oh, I don't like horror movies. And of course their reasoning is always, oh, well, I just have a really good imagination and I just can't handle it. And it's like, what are you trying to say? I don't have a good imagination? It always annoys me. That's like everybody's go-to when they say I don't like horror movies. Like, you don't understand. Like my imagination and my, is so vivid. When I watch those movies. Whatever, that's fine. It's not your thing. I'm not giving people shit. If they don't like horror movies, that's fine. That's most people, so I kind of have to accept it. But most people don't like them. So maybe don't tell this girl that there's a scary video that you want her to watch and this and that. Be like, oh, there's this really trippy video I got. It's pretty cool. Here it is. Like, why don't you pop it in? I'm going to go make us something. I'll be right back. Like, the way he handles it is so shitty. I like that he pops out of the room. And as I said, he doesn't give himself any time at all. The thing's 2 minutes long, and he gives her the tape at 11:57 or 10:57. I think it's done at 11 is when he's supposed to die. It's like, really, you didn't give yourself any time at all in case she didn't watch it. And as I said, I'm really supposed to buy that this chick was like, he didn't even notice her in class and he wasn't. This girl is gorgeous. Get the fuck out of here. Ridiculous. They could have made it at least somewhat believable. But she should be the one. It should be flipped. She should be doing this with him. She should be like, oh, you should just watch this video for me and I never noticed you in class. That I would buy. The other way around, I don't buy it at all. I don't buy it at all that this is some stupid girl in his class and he just killed her off. Fuck off. If this girl was that interested in him like she is in this movie, like he could nail a girl like this, he would absolutely save her, to nail her, to fuck her, to date her, something. But to just throw her into the fucking fire, like, bullshit. No way. I'm not buying it. I'm just not buying it. And I love that she doesn't even look. He comes out and she's like, okay, I pressed play, but I didn't watch it. That is the most realistic shit I've ever seen. My stepmother bet my father that she could sit through all of Halloween because she's like the biggest wimp of all time. She seriously can't even watch commercials, man. We went and saw Inception. And she sat at the back of the theater, like by the exit where there's like that partition, there's like that wall for when you walk in, and there's a wall, and then you can walk to the left and there's the seats. She sat behind the wall, stood behind the wall, and she would look out and she'd go, because it was too intense for her. She couldn't handle it. And then when she came out, she's like, I loved it. I'm like, what? But yeah, she went over and she stood there for like half the movie, and she's like, oh my God. But anyway, so she bet my dad, and he's like, she'll make it 2 minutes into the movie. And she sat there seriously 90% of the movie like this the whole time. And he's like, he just kept bitching and complaining. That's not fair. I'm not paying you. I'm not paying you. I'm not fucking, that's not fair. That's not the rules. This and that. She should be looking. She's not watching the movie. And I was, well, there's a first time for everything. My phone stopped because my storage was full. Never seen that before. Ever in the history of the entire time I've ever been doing this channel. I've never had my storage run out in the middle of a video. Wow. So there you go. So yeah, she was looking, she wasn't watching the entire movie, and he thought that was bullshit. I thought that was hilarious. So anyway, and I just have so many videos on my phone right now because I've been recording so much shit for the channel, but I don't have the internet to upload it, and I can't leave the house because we're quarantined. So I just deleted a bunch of shit, and hopefully I don't run out of room from here. Otherwise, I'll just have to go and figure out how to upload it eventually. But there you go. Anyway, and oh Jesus, where the hell were we? So Aiden kind of becomes a little photographer like his dad. How cute. I thought that was kind of cute. We don't really know how much time has passed. I don't think it's a timeline is given here. But yeah, that's not really super obvious that I could tell. And as I said, like, there's no real guilt. That I feel like is one of the biggest flaws of the movie. Like, she's not troubled by the fact that she passed on death to people in this. Like, she's like, oh my God, how many copies? Like, we only made one copy. What is this? She's not upset by the fact that she's running into a person who died because of her. Like, she doesn't seem affected by that at all. Like, maybe, I guess, a little. But not enough. Nowhere near enough. That should have been an exploration in this film of, like, the guilt she feels. Like, that she picked someone to die over her kid and her. Like, and how she would defend that and be like, he's my child, what do you expect of me, and all that. And then the, like, romance that's set up with, like, the dude who hires her to be like the editorial person at his magazine or his paper or whatever. There's like a little romance brewing between them. Is that ever amount to anything? Does that ever go anywhere? Do you ever give a fuck about that? I don't. Ever. And then he dies and it's like, okay, who cares? Like, God, it's so piss poor in the way that it's strung together. Like, the connecting pieces just don't emotionally resonate in any way. The story isn't engaging. You don't care. So I get why people just don't like this movie. It's just very mediocre. It's just very blah. Anyway, almost so much so that I'm like, I don't even give a shit to talk about this movie anymore. It's kind of a bummer. While I was writing these notes, I was like lazily writing them towards the end. I was like, I don't give a shit. And follows her to her town. Oh, wait. Oh, yeah, the curse somehow follows her to her town. So, but why? Why does he even, like, why does the tape and any of that even have to be in here? Why couldn't Samara just be possessing her son? You know? Like, what's the point even putting the tape in here? What's the point of it even circulating if you're not going to have any drama, if you're not going to have any, like, connection with her character in the tape and how it's kind of circulated, you know? I just, man, it's just so poorly constructed, so poorly thought out. I can only imagine that this came out like a year later. Like, they were like, greenlit a sequel instantly. They're like, get on that shit right now. And the guy who directed this directed the original Ring. And he also directed Dark Water, and he directed Ring 1 and 2, right? Ringu 1 and 2. So this is the original director. I forgot about that until right now. I think it might be like the English barrier. I don't know if the guy speaks English or not, but yeah, he needs to stick to Japanese horror, I guess. Like true Japanese horror, not Americanized version of it. I like that she uses her kid to get out of something. Like, she runs into these gaggle of gossipers, and she's like, tells her kid, like, keep walking, and no matter what I say, just keep walking. So I have to like run after you. I thought that was pretty funny. Like if you don't use your kids to get out of some shit, man, you didn't have kids for the right reasons. And of course, hearing this name Samara, I'm sitting there thinking of Samara Weaving the whole damn time. And Samara approaches Aiden in the bathroom. That scene feels so lame. There's no tension. The way that's directed, the way that's executed, just terrible. The deer attack, what is that even going at? Like, I guess it's kind of starting to go back to like the horses and them going crazy, but she's affecting deers now and they're attacking her, and I don't know. I guess it's kind of cool-ish. Not really. No, it's not. Yeah, I'm trying to give a positive here, but I'm not really coming up with one. Yeah, so she leaves her child. Like, she's a shit mom in this, to be honest. Like, that's another problem I have. So she's at a fair in a new town, and then she just lets her kid wander off. And she's like, don't go far, but like, go ahead. And then she's like freaking out, like, where is he? Where is he? You let like a 10-year-old wander at a public event for like 10 minutes while you go flirt, I guess. And then you turn around and you're like, oh my God, where is he? What? And then she goes to that dude's house later. And she's like, oh, this shit's going down. Like, I need to go. And he's acting all weird. His temperature is dipped to like hypothermic levels. And she like throws him in a bathtub, in a hot bathtub, with a dude she doesn't know, her naked son in a bathtub, and is like, hey, I'm going to go somewhere. Like, can you watch him? What? Bullshit. Bullshit she would let this kid out of her sight. Bullshit. But it just keeps happening throughout the movie. It's really lame writing. I don't buy it at all. And then she comes home and there's like the water on the ceiling and it comes crashing down. That's a cool visual, but yeah, I don't know. That guy would have definitely thought there was something supernatural going on here. And then he walks in on what looks like a drowning, and then the rest, like the movie, everyone thinks she's trying to kill her kid. But then she's just let go. She's not like held for questioning. She's not like booked on like suspicion of trying to murder or abuse her son. Like, he has bruises on his body that look like handprints. They have eyewitness testimony from a guy who knows her, not well, but who she works for and was at her house, that she was trying to drown her child. And then they're just like, all right, like, you know, go back out, go on out, like go out in the, you know, in public. Come on, bullshit. They'd be holding her for sure. For sure they'd be holding her. They'd be booking her the whole shebang. As that kid was like talked to and processed and everything, get the fuck out of here. They would not let her go. That's stupid. This movie's fucking stupid. Never mind, I do hate it. And she makes, I said the kid makes the doctor kill herself with an air embolism to the brain. Very Michael Myers, Halloween 2-esque. Ooh, brutal, man. Samara's mom was 16 when she was pregnant. She ends up being Spissy. That's her name, Spissy. Sissy Spacek. And this woman's acting ability is in the fucking stratosphere. She's an incredible actress. If you haven't seen Sissy Spacek's acting, check out Castle Rock, Season 1, Episode 8, was it? Whatever it is, look it up on the B. If you haven't seen that, her performance in that episode is phenomenal. Like, one of the best performances I've ever seen in my life in any movie of male, female, doesn't matter. So her range is out of control. And she's completely wasted here. Completely wasted. She's in the movie for like 2 minutes. And it really amounts to not much. Like, what do we really gain from it? Like, her mom is saying, oh, Samara's evil. Ha! Thanks! Thanks. We gained that from the last movie. Okay? Who say her mom tried to kill her. Okay. Can we expand upon that? Can we talk about anything more than that? She became her mom from Carrie. That's kind of what happened. She should have fucking been like, they're all gonna laugh at you. And she has to drown her own son on faith alone, which is reminding me of the Bad Religion song. But yeah, like, what faith you have to drown your child and hope that that will, get Samara out of him and all that. Get the fuck out of here. That would be just, that'd be too much of an ask. And Samara wants a mommy. It's almost sad. It's almost sad. But then you think about it and you're like, nah, Samara's killing everybody. She's an evil little bitch. Never mind. I don't feel bad for her. Because, like, when she climbs up out of that well, which she seems to do in, like, record time, Samara couldn't get out of there, but this chick climbs up out of there in, like, 2 seconds. Although this is, like, the fantasy well, which Samara climbs out of all the time. But when you see Samara climbing up out of it, you can tell she's cheating. That she's using some supernatural abilities to scale that thing, which you would feel like she'd be faster at that, and she'd be able to catch up with Rachel, but she doesn't, and she will just, like, closes the lid. That's it. She's trapped. She closes the lid. End of story. Sure. But when she comes up and she's like, Mommy, and she's like, I'm not your fucking mom, you little cunt motherfucker. All right, I'm ad-libbing a little bit, but I almost feel bad because she's like, Mommy. Like, she's like, no, I just got a mom. But as I said, I mean, fuck her. But she's evil. She's evil from beginning. Like, so she really wants a mom? I don't know. I don't buy it. They don't build that up enough. They don't build up in the relationship between her and mom as a kid or, like, anything. And her mom just tries to drown her and then she gets taken away from her. And I guess that right there in itself maybe is what turned her evil. Maybe her mom thought she was evil and she wasn't. When she drowned her, then the curse came. I don't think so, but I'm trying to give this something of more interest. And I'm not your fucking mommy. I like that. And then they use the one fuck. I don't think there is a fuck in the last movie. I don't remember it. But that's it. Yeah. Closes that well, and, it's over. So, there you go. Pretty shitty sequel. I understand the hate for it now. And there you go. The Ring. Maybe I'll do Rings at some point. Probably not. Adios.